Caught in the act, just when this fox thought it had found a peaceful patch to take care of business, a hidden camera decided otherwise. The poor thing looks like it sensed something was off, but couldn't quite put a paw on it. That moment of vulnerable peace is now gone. There's something almost cinematic about the setup, sunlight filtering through the trees, quiet forest all around, and then snap. Now this poor guy is forever part of a digital archive, and proof that privacy in the wild might be more of a suggestion than a guarantee. Maybe next time, it'll check for lens glare first. The deer Illuminati. This forest gathering looks like it was never meant to be seen. A dozen wide-eyed stares frozen mid-glare, like someone just barged into their secret club meeting. This is the kind of moment where you know something big is being discussed, probably about the weird two-legged creatures that keep leaving out salty snacks in strange boxes with lights. The expressions range from mildly curious to thoroughly annoyed, like the camera just blew their cover. One even seems halfway through calling for security. Whatever was going down under those trees, this trail cam wasn't on the guest list. The woods are booked tonight. This looks like the exact frame where the creepy music would kick in. Antlers, shadows, and what appears to be a small barefoot child in a nightgown giving side-eye to the darkness. But the plot twist is that it's from William Harper's Following the Deer photo series, and somehow that makes it even weirder in the best way. The deer are frozen, like they just saw the script, and the girl might be leading the whole operation. It's part ghost story, part wildlife documentary, and all vibes. If this were chapter 1 of a bedtime story, nobody would fall asleep. The forest has clearly moved on to its own genre. Blob Squatch makes a cameo. This mystery creature picked the perfect moment to stroll into the spotlight, blurry lighting, a backwoods setting, and just enough awkward posture to send Reddit into overdrive. It's got the stride of someone sneaking snacks at midnight, and the shape of a bear that may have hit the gym once and never went back. Between the unidentifiable form and dramatic backlight, it's either a forest legend or someone's cousin in a fuzzy costume testing out Halloween ideas. Whatever it is, the timing's spot on. You can already hear someone printing this out for a pinboard and connecting it to blurry photos from 3 states away to prove Bigfoot is real. Florida man spotted in the wild. Here we have what might be the Everglades' most confused jogger, mid-crouch, and looking like he's just realized that this is not, in fact, the trail back to his car. Shirtless, shoeless, and deep in the woods at night. Classic signs that someone either lost a bet or got a little too into their wilderness fantasy roleplay. Some are convinced it's Ice Poseidon doing a late-night content grab. Others say it's just Florida man checking the perimeter for gators and good vibes. Whatever the story, this frame screams, "I regret everything," and that tiny sapling in front of him isn't offering much protection. Private meeting adjourned. This moose has the look of someone who just left a top-secret gathering and didn't expect to be spotted. The head tilt and the side glance are all there. He's probably wondering how the forest paparazzi got past security and why nobody told him cameras were rolling. The sheer size of this guy is impressive, but it's the attitude that steals the spotlight. He's not charging or posing, just quietly reconsidering his life choices as he tiptoes away from whatever just went down behind those trees. Whatever happened back there, one thing's clear. This guy is not so happy about being seen. Spiky disagreement or forest romance. These two porcupines look like they just bumped into each other on the only rock worth sitting on, and now neither is backing down. One's probably saying "you always do this," while the other might just be trying to remember what started the argument in the first place. Or this is the softest start to a very pokey love story. They're facing each other with their little paws up, like this could swing either toward conflict or cuddle. The mossy rock isn't just a setting, it's the whole mood. Whatever's happening, it's clearly important enough to catch the trail cam's attention. Sprinkles isn't here to entertain. Just when you thought it was safe to check the trail cam, this rainbow-headed nightmare comes leaning into frame. Sprinkles, the killer clown, if that's even his real name, doesn't exactly scream birthday party vibes. This has more of a caught on camera before the creepy music starts energy. The smeared face paint, the tilted pose, and the "yes-you" stare all make this fellow seem like a haunted house understudy who took the role way too seriously. Whatever Sprinkles is doing in the woods, it's not juggling. He's either lost, lurking, or rehearsing for the next viral horror short. Either way, hard pass. Beef at the buffet. This wild boar clearly didn't appreciate being cut in line, and the raccoon's expression says it all. Regret, surprise, and maybe a little sass. It's less of a scuffle and more of a dramatic misunderstanding that got wildly out of hoof. The raccoon probably just wanted a snack, but the boar said, "Not tonight." Meanwhile, if you look up, there's a mystery guest perched above it all, watching like it's judging a forest wrestling match. Not getting involved, not helping, just soaking it in like it's watching the latest primetime entertainment. Somewhere off camera, there's probably a squirrel selling popcorn and keeping score. Ghosted in the woods, this deer. Looks like it just walked into a scene. It wasn't invited to. 1 minute it's foraging, and the next, some floating white enigma enters stage left like it's auditioning for the role of Forest Ghost number 2. The deer's face says what we're all thinking. This was not part of the evening plans. The blur could be a flying squirrel, a plastic bag, or the spirit of a forgotten picnic napkin. Whatever it is, it clearly loves drama. The forest's vibe shifted fast, and now the sole member of the audience is pretending it didn't just witness something weird. It's typical woodland drama. Rain or the afterlife. At first glance, this looks like a horror movie poster. Someone accidentally printed on foggy glass. The glowing blobs floating around with tiny face-like patterns could pass for forest spirits if you've had a long day and skipped lunch. And that massive glowing blur in the center is either something from another dimension or a raccoon having a theatrical entrance. In reality, it's a sprinkle of rain and a little bad timing with the flash. The droplets hit just right to summon a full ghost convention. One thing's for sure, whatever walked through here gave this trail cam the spook of its short, battery-powered life. When you both take the same shortcut, this looks less like a standoff and more like two neighbors who turned the corner at the same time, and now don't know whether to nod or bolt. The bobcat seems like it was mid-thought, probably grumbling about squirrels when it locked eyes with the glowing gaze of the night's uninvited guest. Nothing says awkward like mutual surprise in the middle of the woods. Meanwhile, the wolf is frozen in a classic do I act tough or pretend I'm just passing through stance. The glow in the eyes adds a little extra drama, but this might be the forest version of an accidental grocery store run-in. Please ignore me. This deer looks like it just wandered into the wrong part of the woods and now it's stuck in a real-life horror movie. Those glowing eyes in the distance aren't helping the vibe. It's giving major something's behind you energy. And this poor creature is the unwilling star of the opening scene. The overexposed glow makes the deer look like it's about to ascend. But those lights up ahead seem more UFO than guardian angel. Whether it's a tractor, a creature, or just a pair of headlights on night patrol, one thing's clear. This poor deer didn't sign up for any of this. Casper, is that you? This blurry character looks like someone hit the fast-forward button on a ghost walk. Between the see-through legs and that dramatic lean, it's got the vibe of a haunted house with a touch of sprinting panic. If it's a spirit, it's clearly in a rush, maybe late for a ghost meeting or just dodging mosquitoes in style. It might also just be a raccoon or deer caught mid-stride. But the effect is way too dramatic for a casual stroll. There's a strong forest apparition doing jazz hands energy here. Whatever it is, it left behind a solid argument for never checking trail cam footage alone at night. Ghostly meetup at 3 a.m. This buck showed up for a late-night snack and ended up in a scene straight out of a low-budget horror flick, standing under what looks like some kind of feeder. It's staring dead ahead at a tiny figure in a nightgown that's definitely not part of the usual forest crowd. The glowing eyes and quiet stare also help crank up the weird. The little figure on the left isn't moving, isn't speaking, and definitely isn't supposed to be there. Somewhere in the distance, a horror movie soundtrack just started playing itself. That deer might have sharp antlers, but it's clearly not prepared to deal with ghost children. The audition nobody asked for this Martin didn't expect to be spotlighted mid-routine. Whether it was practicing for a one-mammal talent show or trying to look bigger for an imaginary threat, the fact remains that it's been caught in the act. There's something about the posture that screams misunderstood performance art with just a touch of panic. With its little paws raised like its mid-gesture and that wide-eyed expression, it feels like the moment right before someone says, This isn't what it looks like. No predators in sight, no snacks on the ground, just vibes, snow, and one creature having an awkward moment under the watchful eye of an unforgiving lens. Modern dance in the forest. This deer looks like it just nailed the big finale of an interpretive dance piece mid-leap, legs fully committed, and a face that says, "Did anyone see that?" It's giving drama, motion, and maybe a touch of regret. Meanwhile, the two in the background are laser-focused on something far less theatrical, like bark. The contrast is the best part. One looks ready to headline a performance titled Chaos in Leaves, while the others are more interested in snacks than stage presence. It could be a warm-up for forest-wide auditions, or it just slipped and is pretending it was on purpose. Either way, 10 out of 10 for style. Fun over food. While the crew below is locked into snack time, this daredevil raccoon is living out its high-stakes action fantasy, hanging from a feeder and spraying grain like it's setting off fireworks. It didn't come out tonight just to settle for leftovers. This is the kind of commitment you'd expect from someone with a custom theme song. The others don't even flinch. Either they've seen this show before, or they just know not to get in the splash zone. If this is a heist, it's a flashy one. Somewhere in the woods there's a tree trunk covered in glitter and bragging rights. Not so United States of meat. These two eagles look like they're starring in the forest version of a soap opera, complete with slow-motion wing flaps and talon-flashing drama. The steak is a slightly frozen pile of leftovers that apparently warrants a mid-air duel. It's hard to say who's winning, but it's safe to guess neither's backing down without a few feathers ruffled. Meanwhile, the magpies aren't even pretending to care. One's already taking off like a battle among the big guys is just background noise, and the other is pacing the edge like it's seen this fight 10 times already. At this point, they probably know which eagle cries first. Wrong trail. Buddy the deer in the background looks like it just wandered into a private moment it absolutely wasn't invited to. That wide-eyed stare says it all. This was supposed to be a casual stroll, not a front-row seat to nature's most metal lunch break. You can almost hear it slowly backing away with zero plans to mention what it saw. Meanwhile, the bird is deep in its zone, wings out, gripping its meal like it just won a wrestling match, and wants everyone to know it. Whatever just happened, that raptor's not giving up the spotlight or its prize anytime soon. The deer might need therapy after this. Wrong neighborhood. Buddy, this coyote walked in like it had a plan. Probably a bold one. But now it's crouched low with that classic "I may have overstepped" look. One deer is mid-stride. The other is holding a fierce stare, and neither seems impressed by the new visitor's energy. You can almost feel the regret setting in as the coyote realizes it's outnumbered and not precisely the tough guy it thought it was. The deer duo, on the other hand, looks ready to call its bluff and possibly file a complaint with the forest HOA. This is what happens when confidence meets consequence in the wild. Bored and unbothered, there's a whole predator-prey moment happening here, but only one side seems to care. The mountain lion is entirely in stalk mode, crouched low and laser-focused like it's rehearsing for a wildlife documentary. Meanwhile, the boar looks like it's clocked out early and couldn't care less about the drama building behind it. It's the kind of interaction that feels less like a hunt and more like a slow-motion misunderstanding. Maybe the boar's heard this routine before and knows it still has a few seconds to finish dinner, or it's just that confident. Either way, the tension's all one-sided, and the pig's already moved on. The throne is occupied. This bobcat is clearly running the night shift from its makeshift throne, and the deer look like they're just now realizing they've wandered into a very exclusive meeting. One is cautiously stepping forward like it's about to state its case, while the other seems to be quietly questioning all its life choices. The wooden frame may have once held food, but now it's holding court. With that posture and strategic perch, the bobcat isn't just resting, it's ruling. Whether it's a royal declaration or just a theatrical nap spot, nobody's daring to interrupt whatever this forest scene is turned into. Catch me if you can. This buck clearly woke up and chose chaos. Mid-air and mid-leap, it looks less like a forest creature and more like a backup dancer in a wildlife action movie. The fox, on the other hand, is all business. Head low, legs flying, and very much uninterested in sticking around to figure out what's going on. There's a full role reversal playing out here, with the deer suddenly acting like a predator, and the fox sprinting like it's behind on rent. Maybe the deer was defending its turf, or it doesn't like surprise guests. Either way, this photo captured a forest drama no one saw coming. Leap of faith. This deer didn't just jump like a regular forest dweller. It launched itself like someone dodging an explosion in slow motion. Now it's midair, limbs flailing, looking like it's halfway through a stunt rehearsal for a woodland action flick. Meanwhile, on the ground, a raccoon minds its own business, seeming totally unfazed by the dramatic scene unfolding overhead. The contrast couldn't be funnier. One animal is turning up the drama to 11, the other is probably digging for snacks and hoping no one asks it to get involved. It's the perfect snapshot of panic versus peace, caught in a single frame by a lucky trail cam. Sun salutations and tree goals. This bear looks like it just rolled out of bed, cracked its back, and launched straight into its morning stretch routine. With front paws up, feet planted firm, and complete yogi focus. If bears had gyms, this would be the poster. Whether it's going for the tree or just trying to feel tall, the drama in this pose is enough for a Hollywood debut. By a lucky trail cam. It could be sizing up a climb or working through some tension before a long day of berry hunting. Either way, the vibes are equal parts personal trainer and sleepy bear, who accidentally joined a Pilates class. Main event, Bucks versus Bucks. These two didn't come here to snack. They came to settle something. Maybe this fight's about territory. Maybe one of them cut in line at the salt lick, or perhaps they both woke up feeling extra competitive. Either way, heads are down, legs are locked, and this forest floor just turned into a full-on arena. There's not much of a crowd unless you count the ladder stand looming in the background like a confused referee. It's got late-night drama, over-the-top moves, and the kind of intensity only deer with grudges can bring. If woodland wrestling ever needed a promo shot, this would be it. Furry missile incoming. This deer was clearly in the middle of a casual snack break, munching on apples without a care in the world. Then out of nowhere, a flying squirrel came in hot from the shadows like it had beef. That leap isn't from fear, it's from pure betrayal by gravity and rodent. The deer's face says it's very shocked by this interruption. Now it's mid-stumble, and already planning a very stern letter to whatever squirrel council approved that airstrike. Meanwhile, the culprit is mid-glide, as if it's rehearsing for a superhero movie. Forest politics must be wild if snacks now come with aerial drama. Deer 1. Big cat 0. Somewhere in the desert this deer chose not to stick around for the dramatic stare-down. 1 second it was probably both getting a drink. The next second it was straight-up cardio hour. The big cat is ready to pounce, but the deer is already halfway through its escape plan. No time for pleasantries when your life's on the line. The real winner might be the hidden trail cam that captured this wildlife soap opera in motion. We've got dust flying, tails raised, and a lot of regret from the feline who thought it would be easy to grab this snack. Nature doesn't do takeout, apparently. Catch me if you can. This bear is tiptoeing through the forest, like it just stole something from the fridge at 2 a.m. That fish in its mouth probably took all morning to catch, and there's no way it's sharing now. This meal must be super personal. And the bear is already scouting the perfect hiding spot for an uninterrupted snack. You can almost hear the rustle of leaves and quiet determination. This is the kind of energy you bring when you think someone's going to ask for a bite, but you're already halfway gone. If anyone's feeling brave enough to ask for a piece, they're about to meet the hangriest forest resident around. Jungle spa day. This tiger looks like it just rolled out of the most luxurious mud treatment in the forest. Half runway ready, half swamp beast. It's giving major treat yourself energy. You know it's serious when even the stripes are putting in extra effort to stay sharp under layers of dirt. There's no rush in that stride either, just pure confidence like it knows the mud adds character. Maybe it's cooling off. Perhaps it's just feeling dramatic. Or maybe it lost a bet with a puddle. Whatever the story, this big cat clearly understands that sometimes the best look is the one you didn't plan. Birdnado in the cornfield. Ever seen a larger group of ruffled feathers? These flapping birds look like they hit the eject button all at once, and whatever spooked them is still lurking just out of sight. The sunlit stalks and morning mist make it feel extra dramatic, as if they're rehearsing for a feathered flash mob that got interrupted. Judging by the frenzy, this wasn't a gentle nudge from a breeze or a wandering rabbit. It's more wildlife emergency broadcast energy, like someone forgot to pay the worm subscription. If birds had group texts, this moment would need 20 exclamation emojis and 3 gifs of screaming crows. Scatter like nothing happened. Whatever just went down in this patch of woods clearly wasn't part of the plan. The opossum's making a beeline for the left. The fox is heading stage right with zero interest in a recap. And the rabbit is mid-bounce like it's trying to erase itself from the story. This is the animal version of We Were Never Here. It feels like they knocked something over, made a noise too loud, or maybe all reached for the same snack and panicked. No one's looking back, and none of them wants to talk about it. The silence says teamwork didn't survive whatever just unfolded. Main character energy. This raccoon didn't stumble into frame, it showed up front and center, staring dead into the lens like it's got something important to say before the credits roll. Meanwhile, the 2 deer in the background are just trying to enjoy a quiet dinner, blissfully unaware that someone's stealing the spotlight. There's something about that expression that says it's either about dropping wisdom or selling you forest insurance. It's giving lead role vibes in a documentary nobody asked for but everyone would watch. One look at this face and you know the forest has a new spokesperson and it's not taking questions. Carpool in the jungle. This buffalo looks like it's 5 minutes away from filing a complaint with management. The glowing stare, the slow march, the general air of not today. It's all there. And just when it thought the night couldn't get worse, it ended up giving a free ride to a bright-eyed Jeanette who clearly didn't feel like walking. The little hitchhiker is perched up like it owns the place, probably whispering unsolicited directions. Meanwhile, the buffalo is mentally drafting its no passengers policy for future travels. This isn't a partnership. It's one exhausted beast and one very smug freeloader making memories in the dust. Forest gossip just hit. Different. This doe is standing tall like she's posing for a nature magazine. But there's clearly something going on behind the scenes. Her buddy is either helping with a bit of ear hygiene, or delivering some hot woodland drama directly to her eardrum. Either way, that's not a casual nuzzle, it's a full-on whisper mission. The front and center deer has that calm, composed look like she's pretending not to react, but you know the gossip is good. Something about a squirrel who can't keep secrets or a raccoon stealing berries again. Whatever it is, the trail cam just captured the juiciest moment of deer friendship in action. Just grabbing a snack. This parent bear looks like it's had enough of lifting the lid and is now outsourcing snack patrol to its kid. The cub front and center is getting the classic do-it-yourself but I'm still helping treatment. If you replace the forest with tile flooring and that bucket with last night's leftovers, it's giving the big fridge energy. Meanwhile, the whole scene feels like the bear version of standing behind someone at a vending machine and offering unhelpful suggestions. You know the adult has already scoped out the stash, but is letting the little one have the honor of discovery, or the work. Definitely the work. Deer and point. This deer looks like it wandered into the forest clearing and decided the vibe called for interpretive dance. Standing tall on its hind legs with perfect posture, it's either channeling its inner ballerina or got spooked mid-stretch. Either way, there's real commitment in that pose that lands somewhere between graceful and slightly suspicious. The glowing eyes don't hurt either. It's got the energy of a backup dancer who suddenly got pushed into the spotlight and is just going with it. No predators, no humans, just the moonlight, the trees, and this solo performance no one asked for but everyone is glad exists. Uber Forest is now live. This deer didn't sign up to be part of the evening flight path, but the owl had other plans. No warning, no consent, just a talon tap and an unspoken agreement that this ride is happening. Judging by the deer's stiff expression, it's more confused than concerned, like someone who's just been handed a baby they didn't ask to hold. Meanwhile, the owl looks too confident for someone hitching a ride without an invitation. It's got the energy of a bossy cousin climbing on your back during a family barbecue. Whatever the mission was, it's safe to say one of them didn't get the memo. Refills are non-stop. This mother fox looks like she's powering through her version of a midnight rush hour. The pups are fully locked in, and she's standing there like a parent who agreed to one more cartoon and instantly regretted it. There's a distant calm in her face, possibly her brain buffering until someone gives her a break. You can almost hear her mentally reviewing how she ended up here with feet braced on a slope and kids clinging to her like furry vacuum attachments. There's no break room in the wild, but if she had opposable thumbs, she'd be holding a mug that says "Don't talk to me until winter." Bucket list hideout. This hare might have just stumbled into the coziest snow escape imaginable. While the rest of the forest was bracing for a chilly night, this genius opted for a bucket fort and called it a day. No tracks, no drama, just a personal retreat with decent walls, and maybe even a snack or two left behind. The setup feels like something straight out of a cartoon. One hare, one plastic tub, and a solid plan to avoid the cold. You have to respect the creativity. It's giving off serious do not disturb vibes, and the rest of the forest better take the hint. Undisputed drama king. Say hello to this main character. This deer is putting its whole heart into the leap, and not just for safety. There's some flair in those hooves, like it wanted this to be remembered as the most dramatic jump in forest history. If this were a stage, it just nailed the opening act with no script and zero apologies. Meanwhile, the other deer seems completely unimpressed, probably still chewing something and wondering what all the noise is about. Whether our protagonist is dodging danger or just showing off, this moment belongs in a slow-motion nature reel with dramatic music and maybe some wind effects. The crown chose him. This deer didn't just stumble into a tumbleweed. He turned it into a fashion statement. That mess of branches on his antlers looks less like an accident and more like avant-garde headwear straight from a woodland fashion show. It's giving strong runway energy with a hint of wild confidence. He's clearly not here to blend in. The look says, "I own this forest, and yes, this is couture." Somewhere nearby, other deer are probably whispering about how bold he is for pulling it off, but he's not worried. He knows good style when he wears it, and this tangled crown sealed the deal. Plot twist in the sand. If this photo had a soundtrack, it'd be a slow-building violin score. That snowball of fluff front and center is serving pure peace. Totally unaware, it just walked onto the set of a wildlife drama. And lurking in the background is a predator that didn't expect its dinner to radiate this much calm energy. The mountain lion looks like it's rethinking its whole plan. Maybe it's confusion, guilt, or the hare's bold strategy of staying still and glowing like a nightlight. Either way, this scene feels less like nature and more like the opening shot of an art house thriller called The Hare Who Knew Too Little. Forest, carpool gone wrong. This scene feels like it's straight out of a woodland noir. There's an abandoned car half swallowed by leaves, and in the driver's seat, a raccoon with glowing eyes sits like it's waiting for backup. It's giving the getaway driver energy, but the kind that doesn't ask questions. Meanwhile, the fox walking by couldn't care less. Either this is a regular route for him, or he's seen this drama play out before. The whole setup looks like someone hit pause on a forest-based thriller, and the raccoon is just annoyed about being caught mid-scene. It's not a creepy photo at all, just bizarre.